Hi guys, my name is lelasophia. I am an artist and fine jewelry designer. If you like contemporary fine jewelry, if you like luxury handbags, all things interiors, then I have some fun videos for you. You guys, are we dying? Okay, the new Burberry. I've been talking about it, and the more I talk about it, the more of everybody is like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm ready for this video because I'm obsessed and I don't understand how not everybody else is obsessed and talking about it. So I'm gonna give you like a rave review on Daniel Lee's Burberry. But first and foremost, if you guys are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you in all of my future videos. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram at lelasophia jewelry. I put up videos every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and so I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one. Okay, again, like I've been talking about this so much, and especially I think since I started seeing it in person, either at the Burberry store or a Burberry store or at a multi-brand store. I talk about Bergdorf's all the time because it's my favorite in all of New York. As soon as I started seeing it in person, I was like, the quality, are you serious? The quality is amazing. Daniel Lee is bringing this incredible, like, Bottega level quality to Burberry, in my humble opinion, of course. Everything's in my humble opinion. But also, like, it's experimental. I think it's like how only Daniel Lee can bring heritage and experimentation to a very rich brand. Rich as in rich in history, aka I talk about all the time that Daniel Lee is the man responsible for reviving Bottega. As all brands, I'm sure Bottega had their heritage, you know, clients who have been shopping with them forever, their family members have been shopping them, it's gone down the line, yada, yada, yada. But like, really, were you talking about Bottega before Daniel Lee? I certainly didn't know about it. I don't think a lot of people were. And that is no offense to the previous creative directors. They've had some incredible bags. Clearly, a lot of their bags now are inspired by previous versions or vintage versions of those bags. But in my opinion, and yes, I am a Daniel Lee stan, self-admittedly, I've talked about this all the time. I have 5 of his bags for Bottega Veneta. And when I tell you, I just think he has the magic touch to take, and I'm sure that's why Burberry probably fought to have him, because he took such, I think I'm gonna say both of these brands, he took such like heritage, rich, beautiful, historic, massive scale brands and brought them into today, which is, I can't even imagine. You know, I have a very humble, very small line of fine jewelry that like I do every single thing myself. I could not imagine the scale in which Daniel Lee works. And so I'm just saying, like, it's kind of insane to me. I do have to say this up front, and this is, I always like to stay positive in my videos, but I'm putting this out here because I feel like people like to like what other people like. And so if nobody else is talking about it, people don't understand how good it is. And so I'm just gonna be the first one, okay? If anybody else has been talking about it, send me their videos and we'll connect and gush together, because I haven't seen anybody else talk about it. I'm sure other people have, which I'd love to also then just grow the community even more. But like, you guys, I think that, you know, herd mentality, it's just human nature. And so we're gonna break that right now and get into the gorgeousness that is this new Burberry. First of all, okay, I'm a visual gal, okay? I do all of my brand photography myself. I only do film photos. And so imagery, branding is very, very important to me. And I remember being like, I used to live in Soho, as we know. I still live in Manhattan, but not in Soho anymore, thank God. But I lived there for almost 11 and a half almost years. And when I tell you, there was like the first billboard, I think like the day of his first runway show for Burberry, Daniel Lee's first runway show for Burberry. And I was like, oh my God, he's done it again. He redid the Burberry logo, and even like the Burberry store in Soho, like the day of his first runway show, changed the entire, like, the flag outside of the store. And I was like, he's genius. He is a genius. And I started seeing all the campaign imagery and huge billboards. And I was like, this is genius. The major, I think, photographer at least did like those first major campaign images, especially for the Instagram, but also really just like in-person billboards. I hope I don't pronounce his last name wrong, but Tyrone Leban or Leban, oh my goodness. And I have met some amazing photographers in my day, and so I just feel so lucky anytime I get to witness like incredible photography, which I do very often. I am very, very blessed to be in this weird New York community of artists. And this art, like an artist. Like, can we talk about this imagery? Can we talk about the models that they used for like even just those first images? I was like, Daniel Lee has done it again. Like Skepta is like my favorite person in the entire world. I think Skepta is maybe the coolest human being ever. Like King Cruel. There's all like, it's just thinking of like cool British people. I'm just gonna be putting everybody up on the screen so you guys are seeing them, but literally like every single person who was modeled or shot with the new Burberry, I was like, genius. Genius. It's bringing like true British culture into today, and I think we just have to give so much credit. Of course, the clothes we'll get into in a second. The clothes, everything that's in front of the camera, yes. Let's just give some major props and massive credit to the person behind the camera. And I think Tyrone did a lot of the kind of visuals for at least what I've seen on Instagram, where I can see all the credits. But then also recently, there's a photographer who I'm also gonna really butcher their last name, I'm so sorry, Anton Gottlob, one of those. Please correct me down below, I'm so sorry. Like, genius also. Like, are we kidding? The imagery I'm a sucker for, and I really haven't seen, like, honestly, no. I'll say that a lot of brands have been doing really cool campaigns or really cool visuals, but like Daniel Lee's, I'm assuming it's Daniel Lee and the entire, you know, team of Burberry right now, like, this is the most consistently evolved vision I've seen. I've seen some really, really, really cool Miu Miu shoots lately. I've seen some really cool shoots in general, like the Bottega paparazzi style shoots. Like, that's cool and I like it. However, like, this is, you can see one vision and it's crazy to me. I'm a big like person on consistency. The fact that the very first images that we saw as soon as Daniel Lee like really took over, as soon as he launched, as soon as he unveiled the first runway show, that vision has stayed consistent and like it's just grown and gotten even cooler. So that's a huge, huge aspect, and that's a big job, and that's a really big job to hone and change like of an entire brand. And of course, we're gonna get into some of the items, and then one shocking, maybe not shocking for everybody else, but one, there is an aspect to like luxury houses that I never touch on, and like my mind is blown, and so we're gonna get to that last. But to start out with our bread and butter, I know that a lot of people have not been loving the Burberry bags, but I'm like, why? I've talked about the rose bag ad nauseum because of course I own 5 Bottega Veneta pouch era bags by Daniel Lee. I'm obsessed, and possibly the alleged story goes that literally he was like at the runway show like, oh, we need one more bag, and like fastened this beautiful rose out of like some gorgeous leather. And I was so excited to touch them in person, and like the week they came out of the Burberry in Soho, I was like, oh my god, we're going. We, as in me and my dog, went to Burberry and I touched them in person and I was like, he's done it again. They're incredible. The quality is so cool, and I love, like, there's one, I'm not even sure if it's technically patent leather, but it looks like a really cool sheened leather. Of course, I love the original leather, and I also love the fabric ones. So curious to see it in person, and as soon as I touched it, I was like, genius. It's thick, it's hardy, it's insanely good quality. Does that even make any sense? Is that a correct sentence? I don't know, but you know what? It's incredible, and I love the original size, and I also love the evening size. I've yammered on so many videos about the rose bags. We know how much I love it. There's also, though, just a couple more, and I'll go quicker by everything because this is just like a general how much I love the vibe video. And on it, like, because there's a tote that's really cool from the women's section. Of course, it's me. So I'm gonna love the 2 different shades of brown, but there's also like what would be like a section of the logo in the tote. That's so cool, so vibey. I love the little bag with the bell on it. I love that. I love some of the colors, and I love it in the Burberry check print. The Burberry check is genius. Like, it's brilliant. How do you take something that is like so ingrained in people's brains and re-envision it while still giving praise to how beautiful and how iconically Burberry it is? Only Daniel Lee could do that in my brain. The Burberry check is incredible in my mind. Oh my god, and then I also love both sizes of the peg duffel bag, I think it's called, with the clothespin. Are you kidding me? Like, So many brands have that it looks like a vanity bag or like a bag that you would take to put makeup in or cosmetics in or whatnot, but it's done in a really cool way that it actually looks like a bag. And again, in the check, both sizes, I really do love it. That is so, so, so cool. And I think we all need to give credit to the fact that like Daniel Lee is coming out with these styles fresh, new. Like so many houses, I'm not naming names, but so many houses really just dig into their own archives and really just like re-envision bags, and that's how they get really popular, other than obviously brands that I love so much like The Row, who really are coming out with like really innovative new, actually new styles. Daniel Lee is doing that, so let's just give a little credit to the fact that he's not just pumping out vintage versions of bags, he's literally creating new silhouettes for this house. Oh my god, and on the men's side, there's also a really, really, really cool tote with that, like with the logo, you know, flag zoomed in on the bag. I love it in the red and I love it in the blue and white. I love that so much. What a vibe. And the backpack, like, I don't know, seems so random and seems like, which I do have a prediction, by the way. I hate this. I hate when people do like prediction videos, but I'm just reminding us that in the next 5 years, streetwear is going to come back around in the 20-year shift, you know, fashion cycle. So I'm just preparing us for that to start happening in the next 5-6 years. And this is like a little bit streetwear-y, a little bit of a diversion for Daniel Lee. And yet, like, if I saw a guy wearing this, I'd be like, that's dope. It's really, really cool. And I loved it in the check, but then I just saw the black and it looks like a little crinkled leather. Oh, it's kind of so cool. It's also the large shield duffel bag, easy add to cart. If you're someone looking for a really cool duffel bag, this is such an obvious choice. And then I saw this on the men's side and I was like, why haven't I seen this everywhere? I don't even know how to describe this, but there's like a plasticky looking bag with like, it looks like tourist pamphlets of the new Burberry encased in it. I am describing this terribly, but is that not so, like, am I a nerd? Is that, like, I might be the only one who cares about this, but that is so cool. And again, if I saw someone on the street like that, I would be like, that is an amazing bag, you're an icon. And then this is the controversial and shocking that I'm actually gonna talk about. A luxury brand, a very iconic, might I add, luxury brand's jewelry collection, because you know me, my whole thing is about shining light on all of the incredible contemporary fine jewelry designers who I've studied for so long, who I've worked with, who I've just like completely admired. I've been in this industry for a very long time. And so I love to shine an eye on contemporary independent fine jewelry designers. And it just always disappoints me a little bit when people, there's a realm, there is a path, there is a lane for like luxury house jewelry, but I'm just gonna be honest, it's most of the time not my favorite. And I don't even ever look at them because I know I'm just gonna be disappointed and it's usually not fine. I know Prada has fine jewelry, only some brands have fine jewelry, and so that is also disappointing. I'm like, why aren't there more? Anyway, sorry, long story short, I wish that there were more independent fine jewelry designers designing for really large houses or collaborating or something like El Hanati and Kate Bow Down, like that's incredible. Something like that. Anna Corey being shown at the Row, Bow Down. That's what I'm looking for here. And so I wasn't even gonna look at this. I was like, nah, where could, you know, how good could the jewelry actually be? Usually I'm not proved wrong, and I admit when I'm wrong. And I'm also admitting that I always have a hunt, and I was not prepared. I was not prepared for like, what? This is a luxury house's jewelry and it's stunning. Oh, shocked. I was shook. I wish it was fine. And the prices are not justified. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that, but this is a positive video. I'm gonna go ahead and say that because listen, I don't know where in the world some of these numbers came from because silver is really not that expensive to make and gold plating is way less than that. Gold plating is like not expensive at all, just so everybody knows when people are like, and it's gold plated, it's not expensive. So, you know, let's just get our heads around that. But again, I am fully biased as someone who literally makes their pieces by their hand. However, shape, motif, ideas, lapis, You're using lapis lazuli in Burberry with the blue. Danielle, genius. And I was trying to find if there is an independent fine jewelry designer designing. If anybody finds any leads on this, I'd love to know, because I don't know who is behind that or the team behind it, and all I could find is Danielle Lee. And so I was like, if Danielle Lee is at the helm of creating like actually iconic jewelry, even though it's costume jewelry for Burberry, even more of a genius. And I bowed down. Some of the lapis pieces, the bangles, the thorn necklace, I'm shook and I was speechless. And even though I can't justify the price for plated jewelry, for costume jewelry, you know, I'm gonna give it to them, and that's okay. We'll work on that going forward, but I'm shocked. I'm shocked. It is so vintage inspired. I literally was at a vintage fair the other day and my brother's girlfriend was like, coming with you is wild, because the information that I can spew out of like, God only knows how many years of vintage, you know, studying vintage jewelry, but like, I can't believe how good it is. And I can't believe how genius it is to take that rich, beautiful blue and use lapis to put it like to harmoniously put it in your jewelry. Even more of a genius than I thought. You guys, that is my very chaotic, probably really all over the place video, just gushing over Danielle Lee for Burberry. And I hope and pray that one day the masses, the celeb, whoever, this is the one time where I am gonna say, y'all need to recognize how amazing Danielle Lee is. And I hope that he, even as anti-trend as I am, I hope somebody recognizes this and people start wearing it, because it deserves nothing less. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next one. Bye guys.